So it has been speculated year after year of us probably getting a 1-inch sensor for our action cameras. I mean, pimpin', can you imagine a 1-inch sensor in something like a GoPro? But pimpin', I'ma go ahead and say I don't think it's gonna happen. And now, we can start the video. Actually, you know what, before we do, we gotta give a huge shout out to today's coffee sponsors. Jotney, my homie Kelly Green, Big Pimpin' Eugene, Edgar Lunar, and Geo. Thank you so much for the coffees. And Pimpin', if you wanna buy me a coffee, don't be shy. The link is down below. And if not, you already know we are Gucci, cause I ain't a hater. Alright, now, quick side note, not for nothing, this is probably the best cappuccino I've ever had. Let's go ahead and talk about 3 reasons why we may not see a 1-inch sensor for the newer action camera. Because seriously, as amazing as it sounds to have a 1-inch sensor in a GoPro, I mean, we're talking maybe a shallow depth of field, much better image quality, and amazing low light capability. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting tingles just thinking about it, which is crazy because thugs don't tingle. But yes, Pimpin', I am here to tell you straight up that it may not happen, at least not this year. First reason being focus distance and stabilization, which I don't even have to tell you because I know y'all a bunch of ninjas. But focus and stabilization it's kind of important for an action camera. Because when you look at the image of an action camera, usually everything is in focus. I mean, the only way you're out of focus is if you get this close. And then yeah, you out of focus. But for the most part, you are getting everything in focus. And then when it comes to stabilization, the Inbody image stabilization, usually right out of camera, is solid. This is where the first problem occurs. Because action cameras, unlike cell phones and other cameras, do not have moving parts in them. Because remember, the focus is fixed, and the EIS, which is the stabilization in these action cameras, are all done digitally. Bottom line, Pimpin', there are no moving parts in these action cameras. Unlike your cell phone, the Sony ZV-1 as well as the Sony a7S III. And these cameras all have moving parts in them. They have motors for the focus as well as stabilization, which is why you can't really do too much action with these cameras or you'll ruin the motors. I mean, my ninjas, you shouldn't be using your cell phone as an action camera. Like for real, it's not recommended. I know what you're gonna say because y'all are a bunch of ninjas, but Sky Money, what about the Insta360 1-inch mod? But glad you asked, Pimpin', because yes, that is a valid point. The Insta360 1-inch mod does have a 1-inch sensor and is an action camera, but it had major problems when it came to focus as well as stabilization. For example, when vlogging, you could not get yourself in focus. If you just held the camera out just like a normal person, it would not focus on your face. And then when it came to stabilization, y'all already know it had to be processed, which meant that after you finished shooting all the footages is hugging the block like a boss, you had to then go home and process the footage just to get stabilization. So not only did you have kind of mediocre image quality, but also it just wasn't worth the hassle. There's a guy doing push-ups over there. And the second reason that we may not see a 1-inch mod for a GoPro or the DJI Action 2 anytime soon, and that's because overheating has become such a major topic. It's everybody's favorite topic when it comes to cameras. And if the GoPro Hero 10 is looking to have a bigger sensor, like a 1-inch sensor, it will have to have a bigger processor. And bigger processors usually mean more power, and more power, yep, you guessed it, means they will be packing a lot of heat. You would literally be packing the smoke in your pocket. And now again, heating has never really been an issue for me and just overall my style of shooting and making content, but I do trust the people. I trust because y'all a bunch of ninjas, and I believe it when I see comments saying that, yo, mine overheated, or yo, I can only get this amount of time out of this camera. I believe it. It's just never been a big issue for me. But now, what would be an issue for me would have to be reason number 3, and that is size. And now the reason that size does play a major factor when it comes to having a 1-inch sensor in an action camera is for the simple fact that less is more in the action camera game. Really think about it. Size does matter. But like in the action camera game, it's reverse. Like you wouldn't want to show a paddleboard on the canal pulling out an action camera that's the size of the Sony ZV-1. And if I'm keeping it 100p, the Sony ZV-1 ain't even that big. But I wouldn't want to strap that on my chest or a helmet. Like, no. That tree is still there. But yeah, Pimp, like think about it. The GoPro alone is huge and it's just been getting fatter and fatter. Now again, ain't nothing wrong with that. I like them thick too. But if the GoPro's that big with that size sensor already, how big would it be with a 1-inch sensor? And then on top of that, you will most likely see a bump up in weight as well. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that, but when you're thinking about it logically, a bigger sensor will automatically mean a bigger processor so it can function correctly, which will then add more problems with heat. And then to handle the heat problems, you gotta have bigger thermals. And having bigger and better thermals equals a bigger camera. So yeah, I will have to say that I am a little concerned with size. And actually, you know what? I just thought about something else, and it could also be pretty bad too. And instead of calling this reason number 4, we'll just call it bonus tip. But yeah, something else that I didn't even think about until like just now would have to be the price. I mean, because obviously with a camera like that, pushing that kind of image quality, it's gonna bring, you're gonna have to bring a bag. And I don't even think there's any other way around it. Like if it does happen, it's gonna happen at a price. And my worry is that that price may not be suitable for the average consumer. I mean, that Insta360 1-inch mod is still pricey and it wasn't even that good. And then Insta360's 360 1-inch camera, that's kind of up there too. I mean, even that Sony, the Sony RX0 Mark II, that's still close to like $600-700, and it's already been 2 or 3 years. And now don't get me wrong, with that one, that is something that I've been looking and eyeballing for a while because it's actually really, really good. But yeah, I don't know if I want to spend $600 to $700 on a 3-year-old camera. Like, you know what I mean? I would rather save the bag for the new tech drip that's coming out. Like, right? All right, that is a nice Porsche. Pimpin', those are just my opinions on why I think that we may not see a 1-inch sensor so soon from GoPro or DJI. But what do you guys think? Go ahead and light them comments up. Do you think we will? And if so, would you buy it if it's extremely expensive? Go ahead and light them comments up. And also a huge shout out for everybody who bought me a coffee. And if you want to buy me a coffee, Pimpin', don't be shy. The link is down below. But that is it. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one, Pimp.